Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Firsties. As always, I know I just keep on saying this, but I really do mean it. I hope what are we on, like episode? Actually, I'm going to check right now. We are up to episode 35, 36, 37, around that time. I really do mean it. It means so much for literally anyone who likes a clip or subscribes or comments or just interacts with my content at all, or our content, I should say, at all. It really, really, really does mean a lot. So, and speaking of those people, we looked at our analytics and 73.2 of you guys are not subscribed. And I'm just like a little confused about that. 26% of you are, so thank you so much. But if you're not subscribed, you definitely should. And also turn on that bell. I feel like such a YouTuber right now. Turn on that bell to turn on your post notifications. So anytime we post short clips or even the full episodes, that you get notified. So I wanted to interact with my audience a little bit more now that we're getting a little bit more comfortable with the content. And so we went on our Firsties podcast or Firsties Pod Instagram. I don't know, I'm so excited for this. We went on our Firsties Pod Instagram and we asked us questions, anything that you wanted. Now, I'm actually shocked because a lot of these are like tailored towards me. And although I am the host of this show, it really is about the guest, right? It's about the conversations. It's about talking about the first gen experience. So I'm shocked that a lot of it was just really a lot of it was just like personal asked questions that you guys want to know. So of course I'll answer what I feel comfortable answering because again, my show, my life. But let's dive right into it. If you ever want to interact and possibly your question will come up on an episode, you need to follow us on Firsties Pod. That's Firsties Pod everywhere. And you also get behind the scenes and short clips. All right, let's go down the list here. Okay, let me open these up. Again, if you want to interact with us, Firsties Pod, that's Firsties Pod. All right, let's go down the list here. First question is, would you rather, I logged out of it. Hold on. Oops, sorry guys. I'm still new at this. Hold on. Okay, this one's actually a really good one. Would you rather get $2 million and be 10 years older right now, or go back to the age of 10 knowing what you know now? I also want to say any of these questions of the would you rather, there's a few. Please make sure to comment down below because I want to interact with you guys with the clips and everything. So I want to repeat that again. Would you rather $2 million but be 10 years older? So I will be 38 but $2 million richer. Hey. Or go back to age of 10 knowing what you know now. I definitely would do the latter, right? Now that I have the knowledge that I have now versus when I had it when I was 10 years old, I could have made so many different life decisions, career choices, boys that I messed with. What are we talking about? Yeah, I definitely would take the latter. I would, knowing the knowledge that I know now, right? I could definitely make more than 2 mil, knowing at 10, right? Imagine, I want all of you guys who's listening, imagine whatever desire or anything that you have, talent, dream, imagine if you started to perfect your craft or even just practice at the age of 10, right? I'm 28 now, so you're telling me I've been doing that craft for 18 years. Imagine if I was a podcast host for 18 years. Where would I be at 28, right? Would be different. Now everything is God's timing, but you guys know I have my little Malcolm Gladwell kind of stack here. His Outliers book, it all talks about the story of just successful people. And if I started at 10 years old, I definitely would have put in my 10,000 hours, which would have made me an expert. And so I definitely would have done that. I want to know what you guys think below. Okay, let me see what else here. Ooh, this is a good one. Would you rather your potential romantic partners be limited to anyone 0 to 7 days younger than you, or anyone 10 plus years older? So essentially, would I date my romantic partners? Would I prefer them to be around the same age as me, so essentially my same age because it just said 0 to 7 days younger than you are, or I would date 10 years older. I think for me, this might shock you guys, I would really prefer the man in my life to be older. I want him to have a couple more years on me because he'll have more wisdom. And leave me, please, because I need help. These are good. These are good. These are really, really good. Okay, let me see what else that you guys have submitted in. Would you rather work 40 hours straight in 2 days or 40-hour work weeks? This makes me think about my sister's old nursing schedule where she would do 3 12-hour shifts and then she literally would have 4 days off. Like a lot of nurses or a lot of medical professionals is like that. Although that seems awesome, I low-key would probably be a zombie for the next couple of days. So I think I'm going to keep the 40-hour work week, I think. Because it sounds good, but then the other days you're really just going to be exhausted. 40-hour straight days? Yeah. I'm going to do the 40-hour work week. Girl, I love my sleep. Okay. Another question you guys asked, would you go out with a fan? I don't have fans. The people who watch my content simply just are watchers or viewers of my content. I don't have fans. Now, I'll take it a step further. Would I prefer to be with someone who admires my work or my craft or my content? Yeah, I would want them to like mess with my stuff. Yeah. Let me see here. Can you drop a makeup tutorial? I love this question just because for my art analytics, it's like 70% men, which is crazy to me. Like, I don't know why that is. Kind of scares me. But I would love to drop a makeup tutorial. I could drop it on our TikTok or our Instagram. Please comment down below if you guys want a makeup tutorial. I like this question. Best comic. If you guys have been listening to these episodes, you already know my favorite comment is Dave Chappelle, the GOAT. It's just, there's no doubt about it. And I low-key feel like the comedians who have come on this show have watched the content and see that, unless they also, I believe it, that they're fans of Dave Chappelle, obviously, because he's the GOAT. But it's just so funny how I tell them, like, so what's your favorite comedian? Like, them knowing probably that my favorite is Dave Chappelle, just so I literally don't kick him off the episode or the podcast. But definitely Dave Chappelle. He's the best. I've seen him live. I've seen him all of his specials. I've seen the Dave Chappelle show, even though that wasn't part of my time. I did my research, and he's just the GOAT. Please respond to my DM. So it depends on if my DMs scare me. So for podcast purposes and stuff, definitely go to Firsties Pod. I'm more likely to see it there. But my personal DMs, they truly terrify me for obvious reasons. It's a scary place. All right, the next one, best fries. So I almost think like fries should just be like its own food group because really like they saved my life. So I would have to rank them. I think Five Guys the Cajun fries are pretty amazing. Now, if you want to go waffle, I'd probably go the basic Chick-fil-A. But honestly, like your McDonald's French fries, they never not eat. You know what I mean? Like they're pretty. They do what they're supposed to be doing. But I think out of all fries, I think I would have to go with Five Guys, the Cajun Five Guys. Those are pretty good. I mean, yeah, I would go with Five Guys. Okay, what else here? Can I get some merch? So we actually dropped a little teaser on TikTok of the samples of the merch. So here's a little teaser. This is not out yet. We're still working in production, but here is. It's just so cute and like just unisex. This is for men and women. Just the logo there. And then on the back, bam, so cute. Or just so cool. I really try to make it so that it's for men and women, but isn't that so cool? I'm just going to leave that right here because why not? It's just I'm so freaking excited. So we're still working on production. So not sure when it's going to be out. Hopefully soon. But comment down below. Really, if there's a demand, I'll definitely expedite that process. So comment down below if you'd get one of these shirts. There's going to be other colorways as well, but I'm just super, super excited. Okay. What advice would you give to first gens? Now, it depends on what you're going through, right? And also take everything with a grain of salt. I'm only a 28-year-old just trying to get through this ghetto life. Every day I learn something new. Probably only thing that I'm sure of is that I don't know much, truly. Because the moment I'm like, man, I really got this all figured out. God humbles me, another situation comes by, and I learn new information, and I learn more about myself. But if I could just give like a general advice, what advice would you give to first gens? What I would tell myself is to breathe. I know that sounds corny, but the reason why I say that is because when you're younger, and also just even now, just being a first gen, you don't really have much room to mess up or self-doubt or be anxious. Even though you're all feeling these things, you don't have time to like make space for those emotions. And so for someone like myself, I really went through it a little bit mentally. I didn't even know it though until I was like years out of it. So that's the thing, is that like when I was in it, I was just surviving. And what I mean by in it is like going to school, like, you know, dealing with weird situations in professional settings, being the only brown person in certain rooms, trying to get ahead in school, but then also like trying to make enough time for family because I was always raised to be that type of person as well. And then like battling between like, am I being selfish for going towards my dreams versus not prioritizing like family members' birthday? Like it's just all these things, and it seems so small, but at the moment it does feel like the end of the world sometimes, especially if you're younger. So I honestly would just say breathe. Things that helped me out was getting around the right people. So like mentorship, whatever you want to do. If you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a realtor, if you want to be a content creator, get around people who have almost perfected their craft or they're on that journey. Because you are only going to be the people that you're only going to become the people that you're around. That could not ring true, I promise you. Like if you want to be a billionaire, be around a bunch of billionaires, you will figure it out. They figure it out, so why can't you? The only other thing I would say is don't place distance from people who don't look like you. Meaning, you know, I've made the mistake of seeing the accomplishment of someone else and be like, oh my God, like, look, that's possible for him. Wow. But that's only for that person. And it's not. Like, they're no one special versus you. They are special, but so are you. And so do not distance yourself from other people. I would say, you know, make a contact, and network to see how they can help you out or how you could help them out and how they could help you out in return. Very, very important. Really, like, my mom says this all the time, but there is nothing on this earth that is not possible. Stranger things have happened. And truly, that's the one thing I love about this podcast is that we are really embracing, like, the people who are the first to do something, whether you're first gen or just the first person in your family to do something, whether it's start a business, date someone out of your race, be the first in your family to graduate, like, whatever it is. You're the first to do it and how exciting that is. And so the general advice I would give is really just to breathe. Truly, there are stranger things that have happened. If someone else can do it, that should almost excite you that like, oh my God, it's possible. So like, oh, there could be the first female, whatever in this lane. Okay. So it's possible. And by that woman getting in that door first, it actually will make your journey a little bit easier because then other people see that it is possible, right? Because that's why I really like to embrace firsties and people who are the first to do something, because that journey is no joke. There's no blueprint. So how the hell did you do that? And that to me, as you can tell, gets me really excited, and I'm really passionate about it because I think there's all these qualities that we can learn from like athletes, musicians, comedians, co-hosts, actors, doctors, and whatever it is. I think is really, really remarkable. So I hope that helps. So breathe, girl, breathe. Who's your favorite guest? Ooh, this is a good one. Who is my favorite guest? So I do have to say all of them because I really do love all of them. Really, it's a humbling experience when a couple things happen. When I reach out to someone that I would not think would come on the show and they come on the show, that's really, really exciting. And then lastly, when people reach out and they're like, I've been looking at your content and I would be honored to come on. And that's really, 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 really exciting. So I would say, who's your favorite guest? I do have to say someone who is just like, obviously my mom, love that my mom's coming on. My dad will probably come on soon. We're working on that. I think another one is probably Benny. Shout out to Benny. And the reason why is just because in a very short amount of time, we've become pretty good friends, and you can see in the episodes, and it's just fun to just like keep going back and forth essentially. In real life, I'm a very, very sarcastic person, and it's nice when someone can just like pick up where I left off. And I'm only sarcastic around people who could like either handle it, because if you're the nightmare of sarcastic people is that like if you don't get it, then I just feel like an a-hole, and I'm like, no, I didn't mean it that way. This is all joking. And sometimes if I have to explain myself, it can be exhausting. So being around certain guests who just kind of get it. I love having Dave on. He was a lot of fun as well. I love my girl Harmela. She's a content creator as well. Love having her on. I really, again, like, it sounds so corny, but like I'm always excited for the next guests that come on. We do have some very, very, very exciting guests coming on. Things that we already shot that are going to come out in the next couple weeks. I'm really, really excited for you guys to get this content. I cannot believe we were able to get these guests. So maybe my favorite guest has not come on yet, and that's a little teaser on that. All right, the next one. What about content creation do you like most? Probably, honestly, when you guys interact with the content, really, I just love, like, I love feedback. I love hearing from my audience, whether it's bad or good, honestly, because either way I'm going to learn. I think we all can learn. I will say that my brother has said this before. When I'm editing the show, because just fun fact, I'm also editing all of this, I black out. And my brother always told me that, like, girl, when you're editing, it's like no one's there. And how lucky are you to experience that, because people like search for that, where they're able to really zone out, whether it's like their music or like content creation or whatever the case is. Sorry, this is bothering me. I'm going to fix it. Okay. I'll put in this shot. Okay. Sorry guys. I'm also like producing while I'm hosting. It's like a lot of things. Anyways, they're laughing back there. So since I edit the videos as well, but I almost black out, and I've always dreamed of being in a position to find something about myself is that I put a lot of stress on myself to like find my purpose. Like, why was I creative? Like, why is Mila here? And that can be very stressful for someone who's like younger, also as a first gen. And now I'm realizing that if I just focused on my desires, because I can't explain why I wanted a podcast, or I have reasons, but as far as like where that comes from, it sounds so corny, but it really does come from my heart, and I can't explain it. It's the same way like some people have the desire to heal people and, you know, figure out illnesses. That is great, and they should be in that lane. Some people have the desire of making people laugh, right? And you can't explain where that desire comes from. And I truly believe, not to get all spiritual on this episode, but your desires is a gift from God, I believe. And so if we just are able to stop judging ourselves, to not feel like outsiders or losers, and really, really just focus on our desires and our talents, I think the world will be a better place, really. Again, I did not think this episode would go there, but this is where the questions that you're asking about. So probably my favorite part about content creating is the editing. You know, it is a lot of work, but it's fun for me, and just interacting with you guys. So comment down below, because I totally want to interact with you more. Okay, let's see here. What else? Oh, this one's a funny one. I have another one that said, can I get some merch? Again, comment down below if you really want some merch. If we have the demand, we'll definitely drop merch. Here's an example of that. I'm like just awkwardly like caressing it. It'll come in different like white, gray. Again, we're just literally still in development, so it takes some time. It's just the perks of running a company and a business. Are you single? Someone asks, are you single? Then another person asks, are you single and why? The crazy is the and why. It's like, okay, so you knew. So why are you asking that question? Like, what's going on? I am. Now, the why, ask my therapist. But yes, I am single and I'm married to the game. I'm married to the podcast game. No, let me stop. Let me not try to block my blessings. But the answer is yes. All right, just a few more before we wrap up. I want to start a podcast. Where do I start? So here's the thing is I'm very new to this space as well. I'm learning from my mentors and people I've met in the industry. That I will tell you my biggest mistake was the fear of making a mistake. That has always been something that's held me back. It's never going to be perfect. Like even on this episode here, right? I'm kind of talking out loud. This is almost like the podcast could almost be like my digital diary, just talking out loud. I never thought I would be here. I would have a million cuts. The lighting is not good. Like the sun's coming in. So is that okay? I literally had that thought earlier. But really, where do I start? Just start. It won't be perfect. You will not get the views that you think you'll get. Your ego is telling you that you should get. However, you should start. All you have to do is start. One of my mentors said he won't even consider, this might sound harsh, but I respond well to this kind of feedback. He said he won't even consider that I have an actual podcast, and I put that in air quotes, until I'm at 100 episodes. And his feedback on the reason for that is because at that time I might actually have information on how to do the lighting, how to do the audio, the editing, all these things, right? If you go back to my first episode versus now, things have changed. We have different camera shots. We have different lighting. We're coming out with merch sometime soon, right? And you're constantly moving the needle forward. But in order to do that, you have to start first. And I talked about having a podcast for the longest time. And the thing that held me back was just my fear of rejection, of failure. But it's like, girl, you have to start. And really, to be successful, you have to fail a couple times. So my advice is to start. Now, the next thing you're probably going to think is like, what equipment do I need, or how do I start, right? Now that you decided to start, you don't need all the things. You can start with your iPhone, really. A podcast is literally just an audio version of a video, essentially. So you could record audio on your phone, borrow your friend's phone. You could lease them out or like rent it out of a library. There's ways around it. And then lastly, I would ask, why do you want to start a podcast? Like, what is your niche, or what is the content that you want to get out of there, right? There is over 2 million podcasts ever created. Some are active, some are not. I think my brother sent me the stat, like 97% of them, or 90, whatever high, it's over 90%, don't get past the episode 7. And out of those who get past episode 7, don't make it past episode 20 or 21. That's a real stat. So you could see how people have this idea to start a podcast or any content creation, but like, what's your end goal? So that's probably something that you want to figure out before you put in all this work. But good luck to you, and I hope you do start. Let me see here. Oh yeah, I already answered all those questions. Oh, I actually got this scenario. Here's a scenario. Excuse me. You and your man and your mom are headed to the car. Who gets to ride shotgun? And then they said change that out and then do your man, your mom, and your children. Who eats first? So here's the thing: is if you know a little bit about what we talk about on this podcast and my culture, really with first gen specifically, but that whole like shotgun thing, like if my mom is present or his mom is present, the parent is going to sit shotgun. That's just something that we learned. Even when there's been times where I've been in the car with someone and then we go pick up someone who's like an elderly in our family, and I've gotten out of the car and went to the back seat so the older person gets sit in the front and shotgun. That's just how our culture is. I feel like a lot of first gens are going to agree with me on that. And I also would hope that my person would also understand that, yeah, of course, like the older person sits in the front. That's just how it is. And I wouldn't feel any type of way if he also expected that I allowed the older person to sit in the front. Because again, that's just like our culture. Now then the other scenario was, it said rank I know who sent this in. I'm not going to call her out, but I know who sent this in because we talked about this on an episode, but then we cut it. Your mom. Okay. I want to do this with the audience. Your mom, your children, your man. Rank them from 1, 2, and 3. So I think, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, possibly, I think it's your man, your children, then your mom. And if you ask why, one, I just think in order for the kids to be good, who is leading that family? Those 2 people. So if me and my man or my partner are not prioritizing each other, the blind can't lead the, like, who gonna wake who up? You know what I mean? So I would say it's the husband, the kids, then the mom. And my mom would be proud of me for that answer, and she would understand. So would my dad. Comment down below, because I'm interested to see, because the media nowadays and the younger generation, they actually might highly disagree. So please comment down below on what you think. And I think that is all for this episode, guys. This was actually so much fun. There are actually some questions that I got that I'm actually not gonna read on camera because, for obvious reasons, y'all are wildin'. But thank you to everyone who's commented on previous episodes or sent in some DMs. I really do appreciate it. This was actually a lot of fun. That is it for this episode, guys. As always, thank you so much for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing, doing all the things. I really, really do appreciate it. If you want to be involved in the next episode where we do these kind of questions Q&A with just me, please make sure you follow Firsties POD. That's where we get all of our feedback from you guys as well as the questions. So that's Firsties POD everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, Facebook, everywhere. And then also, please comment down below if you want a t-shirt. I need to get some more feedback from you guys, right? Just know when we should launch, because I want to do this right. As you can tell, I'm very, very excited. And as always, guys, please take care. And always remember, I'm going to try to end these episodes this way. I just have to freaking remember. But always remember, it is never impossible. It just hasn't been done yet. So be the first. All right, guys, see you in our next episode, and take care.